This is the way.
This is the way. This is the way.
On a cold Saturday night, the AFC East Shakedown brings you four representatives of each team. The export Jedi Kev with the Jets. Trevor and Juan, the Sports Dynasty, the Patriots. Tommy from Mafia Sports Report. And Curtis, ace per head, sometimes Captain D. Those men are the AFC Shakedown. Salute and welcome everyone. It's Saturday night. You know what that means. It is the AFC Shakedown here on the Sports Jedi Network with your host, BX Sports Jedi Kev. Good evening everyone in the chat as we acknowledge you this evening. Thank you so much for joining us on this 18th day of November. We've got everyone joining us. Of course, let's say hello around the room to the dais. Let's go right there to Curtis from the Ace Per Head. Good evening, Curtis.
Hey, what's going on, Kev, man? Thanks for having me on, brother.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. His return back. He was missed. Mr. Trevor. What's up, Trevor? We missed you. Salute.
How's it going, guys? How's it going?
And the founder, with no introduction needed, from this AFC Shakedown, from the Mafia Sports, the one and only Tommy. Hey, yo, Tommy, what's going on?
Shaky Bones Dorsey impression. Oh man, that was some hissy fit.
Oh my God, we got. So, what do you guys want to talk about? Week 10, a lot of situation, but I want to go to a place where everyone likes when you're growing up as a kid, Frankfurter. So let's go to Frankfurt, Germany, right into the Patriots taking on the Colts because we missed you, Trevor. And this game was a up and down situation with this. I mean, a 10-6, you seen a quarterback benching. First and foremost, you know your week started off when your head coach is on the whole Rings network coming out of doing the walk of shame. So first of all, Trevor, I want to hear you talk to me. Oh, my God. Tell me about your head coach. And you recovered from Frankfurt, and I'm going to put a little music here because there's speculation that this might be it for him.
Ooh. Wow. I'm going to be honest with you.
I love
watching the game last week. Really, really irritating that I got up early in the morning to watch that garbage. Like, I don't know where to begin.
Did I stumble you?
It's just so bad.
So
let me give you. All right, here we go. Let me give you a little bit of a. Let's go with the box score a little bit here with the matchup. We saw Mac Jones, 18 for 20. Then Bailey Zappi came in. What's your thoughts there with the quarterback change? Were you happy with that?
First of all, it didn't make any sense, honestly.
The Zappy man.
It didn't make any sense. If you're going to bench him, why would you bench him with 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter when Mac Jones has been terrible the last 3 quarters? They're running the ball pretty well. You know, they just couldn't put points in the ball. Our kicker, Ryland, I mean, by far he scores the most points on the team, but he stinks too. So I don't even know what to say about that. But It's just so bad. It was so bad. Coaching, like a lot of the coaching decisions, especially in that game, were just irritating. The coach tried to give us that game. They tried giving us this game, and we gave it back to them. The coach didn't play that well either. They really didn't.
What a completion by Gardner Minshew there. He was tippy-toeing, moving all over the place. They talk about buying time. He had all the time in the world. He could have baked a steak or grilled a couple of hot dogs back there in Frankfurt, and then he made that completion there. That was hopefully extend that drive. I thought the Patriots were going to get off the field there, and then when they went for that fake spike, it fooled me. I thought he actually spiked it, and then he threw the interception. I was like, crap. I mean,
this is my problem. A lot of people were saying that he thought he saw it was a free play. But honestly speaking, why our offense is horrible? Why are you trying to be cute? Why are you trying to be cute? A fake spike? We haven't done that all year. What makes you want to think we could do that right now? It's stupid. Like, it didn't make any sense, honestly. So him doing that was like, you know what? There goes the season. I mean, like, trying to be cute. Maybe I've done nothing cute at all whatsoever, though. But it was just terrible to watch. Belichick in this. I personally think Belichick doesn't give a shit anymore. I don't think he cares anymore. He's saying, fuck it. Wait till the end of the year comes. I still got paid. And that's it.
All right. I'm gonna go to Tommy. Tommy, is this the end of the road for the Patriots dynasty?
Yeah, yes.
It was over like 2 years ago.
Yes. Listen.
Like 2 years ago.
It was over the day Tom Brady walked out that door. Let's be real. They never even attempted to get his replacement. They drafted Mac Jones, which was to me a bad draft pick. Mac Jones will be I think he's a good quality backup. He's going to be a journeyman in the NFL for years to come, in my opinion. He's going to be like a Sam Darnold. But yeah, I just feel like the offense of the Patriots is a hot mess. Unless you're going against the Buffalo Bills, and they look like the greatest show on turf. But they are a hot mess. And yeah, I don't know what they're going to do. I'm curious if Bill sticks around, if the owner wants him to stay around. But that's just a bad team. They got nothing going on. I mean, their defense, once again, kind of kept them around a little bit, but their offense stinks. It was odd, that Zappy situation, pulling your quarterback with 2 minutes left. Just why not let him finish at that point? Unless they were just totally like, fuck this guy, we're done with him, and we're moving on. And we're putting Mac on notice right now. It's not your job anymore. But Zappy looked just as bad. He came in, and by the way, that was no help for Zappy. I mean, 2 minutes to go. It's not like he had much time to even, get warmed up in that game. So it made no sense why they would throw him in there. I think that was more just a FU to Mac Jones. I think the coordinator and Bill was just like, you know what? We'd rather lose with Zappy. So odd, but it's what happened. But they need a quarterback, and they need a whole revamp on that offense. And I don't know if Bill Belichick is the guy to do it.
We will find out there. I want to get Curtis's intro here. Curtis, end of the road here. What's your thoughts on the mighty Patriots dynasty? And let me ask you this: would you, first and foremost, I need that messenger shirt. First of all, that you have, that is a dope T-shirt. Yes. Salute to my cousin Fabricio, who got me into Messenger many years. So I don't want to get off the rails, but love that shirt. Secondly is, would you be caught doing a walk of shame on a Rings camera?
No, I got too much pride for that. But my personal opinion is, if something's going on in the background, either A, he's tanking the season to give KRAFT the first round draft pick and he's going to move on, or he's tanking in order to set himself up for a quarterback for a final run. Mac's done. They already say he lost the locker room. And I think you're not going to see Mac Jones anymore. I think he's finished. So this is either it's the end in one way. It's the end of Mac Jones, and they're going to draft a quarterback with Belichick, or Belichick's moving on to go someplace else, and he's giving a parting gift to KRAFT, and he's going to go someplace else with the team that's ready to rock and roll now. There's already been talk about that, but something's up. Something very peculiar is up. So I think Mac's totally done. I think he's fried. The pick at the end was ridiculous. It made no sense. He threw a bad pick. It would have gone to Gesicki in the end zone. It was a touchdown. And I think the guy is fried. I think there's something wrong with him in the head. He might have some kind of, like, you don't punch guys in the Johnson, and there's a lot of like talking, and there's like weird stuff, and he's supposedly very smart. So I think there's something wrong with him mentally, and I don't think he's gonna process there. So I think he's done. He's done. I think maybe Bill's done, but there's something going on that just basically said, all right, now we know we're gonna lose. We're tanking the season, and we're done with Mac, and we'll put like Joe the Water Boy in and just let it ride. Whatever.
Well, speaking of Joe the Waterboy, the Patriots on a bye, they could actually work him out and get him into the system if they wanted to. So, perfect timing. Trevor, first of all, is your dynasty over? Is that the end of the road? And the bye week, does your coach come back on the bye?
First of all, it was over when we lost, and when that pick 6 against the Titans in the division in the wild card round in 2020. No, 2019. That was when it ended. When Tom Brady left, that was it. And then it was even freely stamped with the approval when the Bills won their Super Bowl against the Patriots when they beat the shit out of us 47-17. That's where I knew it was over. It's not happening again. It's just bad. But right now, I'm just going to stick with it, see what happens from now. But other than that, it's just, it's really bad.
All right, so we'll see what happens if Bill Belichick returns for the Patriots when they take on the Giants, out of all people, coming up after their bye. So we move on here. We'll go into where Lady Luck did not accompany the guys in green. They go out to the desert and they lay an egg. They were disgusting, terrible. My New York Jets taking on the Raiders. My God, they played. Oh my goodness, that was not a good game there. Our offense continues to struggle, and I have no excuse. But the offense is the offense. The defense played well. And wait a minute, we got Ed Hockley coming in right now. Oh well, there it is. We got a holding call. Oh, the Jets are on the field. Every time we do a damn good play down the field, 15, 20 yards, or something positive for the damn kid can barely throw the football, here comes in the holding from Osama to anyone. We have a chance for, my God, my tight end looked like he wanted to be grappling on the UFC, where it costing us that first and goal from the 3-yard line. Terrible game there. I can't blame the defense. It's the offense again, and it's just this one guy here, man. This Nathaniel Hackett, can you do something, change something different, make an adjustment, do something? Because obviously Salah doesn't know. He's too busy going up and down the stairs every damn game that he doesn't know, game planning on the offensive meetings. So maybe, hey, coach, take a minute to go up and down the stairs, man. Have a yogurt instead, or something different if you're worrying about your fitness. But you got to worry about our team, man. Time is running out. We've been lucked out. Maybe we were unlucky in Vegas, but Lady Luck kind of kissed them. I'll get to that in a minute. Let me go right to you, Curtis. What was your thoughts when you saw that there? Especially you sitting. You're sitting with your legs up, or your legs up, and getting air in between the testicles because you were off on a bye. So you were the most freshest of all of us. So give me your thoughts on that.
Well, what's the funny part is, like, I was watching a movie with the kids, and something happened, like it just wasn't running right. So I put on the football game. And my daughter chose the Raiders, and my younger son chose the Jets. And my wife was like getting into it. We watched from like the second quarter on till like I think till the very end. And I really enjoyed the game. And if you notice that I had said the week before, I said they got to get this guy on a mobile platform, get some play action, get him on. And they even mentioned the announcers. So I'm going to toot my own horn here. I mean, it's clear that that's what you got to do. The guy was 23 for 39 for 263. He had the one pick. But like I said, there's all these stupid penalties. But there's a way to get the most out of this guy, whatever that is. And so from one standpoint, I was like, all right, they got him on a mobile platform. This Raiders team is a good team. This Raiders team is a hard-fought team. They won Pierce in a big way. There's talk of Harbaugh wanted to be on the Patriots. And so they know they can't have just like a men's season to keep Pierce. They've got to have a couple of staple victories. And that's why I'm a little concerned with my Dolphins this week. But this was a good team. I think you should have won it. It was in your hands. And then he threw the pick at the end. And I saw Rodgers' face was like, ugh. And, but that was Hackett too, just not really – you had time. You had timeouts. Run the damn football a little bit to take the pressure off. But, he was doing good, but it was just he's not ready to go pass to the touchdown. I don't know why they didn't just have a rollout boot run with him just to get something easy for him. But I do see some growth in Wilson. But the team itself is kind of getting the Patriots screw-up nature where there's always something going wrong. But this Raiders team is really, really tough. And they got signed Jack Jones this week from the Patriots. As he's a good corner, especially in run stop. John Jenkins was a Dolphin. He's a DT, and he hasn't been used too much. He's picking up. And they got this second-round linebacker who had a concussion, who didn't play last week, or he may play, but very sparingly. They even got this guy Hall, who's another guy in the background who's starting to gain strength. This Raiders team, they're handcuffed by a quarterback who's a total rookie, but everything else is pretty good, man. And I think you took your lumps, and you're probably going to lose this week. But if my Dolphins lose to the Raiders, it gives life to everybody else in the East except the Patriots. So I just thought. Their chances were there, but it's kind of like the same thing. They beat themselves. This team needs to have, very pristine, very hygienic game, and they don't really have it. They get sloppy.
We'll get back to that because that's a preview, by the way. But speaking of hygienic, let's go to one of the hygienic guys in the chat who is bobbing back and forth. Tommy, give me your thoughts here with seeing that Raiders and the Jets. Lady Luck continues to kiss the Raiders, and I think could it be the haircut of Al Davis changing that hairstyle a little bit?
Play it at your own risk.
That's right.
Okay. Listen, man, I will say, looking at the stats, the one thing that's a little concerning with the Jets is the running. Brees Hall, 13 carries, 28 yards, 2.2 average. I mean, that's not good. If you guys are going to do anything on offense, the running backs have to have good games, and that's not helping the cause. You can't have Zach Wilson, win the game for you. That's not going to happen. You need a balanced attack, or you need really not even balanced. You need the running backs to take charge, and they just haven't really. It's been weird. It's like one week Brees Hall, but still, even though Brees Hall 1 week will have 150, and the next will have 35. It's just odd, really, really weird what's going on. Yeah, and the offensive line obviously is not helping, but yeah, once the Raiders shut down Brees Hall and Cook, I think that was it for you guys. I mean, as far as just putting points on the board, that sucked the life out of your offense. So your defense once again does its job, and your offense puts up 12. I told you, I think I predicted the Raiders, I believe, to win this game too. I said it was going to be like 15-10, something crazy, low scoring, and I think I was really.
I think we all said it was going to be a low scoring game too, but. Yeah. What was a real big part was a key point was on, especially in that right before halftime, you could have been up 9-3, and that roughing the passer that it was on Huff. It kind of burned me a little bit. It got me pissed off, not with Huff, but with the NFL, how soft they are. Huff is on the ground and he's crawling just to try to make a play, and just because he put his hand on the ankle, roughing the passer. I mean, come on.
Join the club, buddy.
Come on, really? That gives them an opportunity. They get the extra field goal. Now it's 9-6. And I'm not saying that was the reason the Jets would have won that game, because you still had a lot of football to play. But these calls are phenomenal. I could see a Trevor rant from that, and we're going to go to Trevor. Trevor, your thoughts there if you saw that matchup between the Raiders and the Jets and low scoring. I know you on a primetime night. Ugh.
I did actually watch this game very closely, honestly. The couple of things that bothered me, first of all, the offense, as we know, the offense is awful. CJ Uzomah, I don't know why he's on the team, honestly. He's been awful. Alan Lazard, why is he on the team? Complete bust. Now, I understand they constructed this team for Aaron Rodgers, and obviously it hasn't happened. But still, you're in the NFL. You gotta do something. But that's not really the issue I have with the Jets team. I don't think Zach Wilson, despite the interception he threw, this loss is not on him. This is not loss is not on him. I'm blaming this loss on Robert Saleh and Nathaniel Hackett, particularly Robert Saleh. Robert Saleh continue, and I think I spoke about this early in the season, that he's going to mess around and get himself fired.
Oh yeah,
because it's the boneheaded coaching decisions that he continues to do. First things first, let's talk about the penalties. You have like 84 penalties in the last 4 games. They're penalties at an alarming rate. And I understand that the offensive line shambles. I get that. I understand. But there's the stupid offsetting penalties is just ridiculous. That's one. Also, at the end of the game, you have 1 timeout left. Your lack of game management for Robert Saleh is ridiculous. You had 35 seconds, and you only got 2 plays off in 35 seconds. Really, that's what he's doing right now. Now, don't get me wrong. The Hail Mary that Zach Wilson threw was really good. Was good, but if he had more time, he had more chances to get into the end zone, y'all might have scored a touchdown. Yeah. And that's on Robert Saleh. How do you not call a timeout earlier than that? Like, what are you doing? Like, that's ridiculous. And then I'm sorry. I understand Aaron Rodgers was the original plan for the season. I get that. I understand. But the fact of the matter is, and this is where I come at Joe Douglas as well, you failed to adjust to the loss. I understand. You basically punched on Zach for the season, and now you're like, oh, well, guess what? And I'm not going to lie to you. Again, we shun Zach Wilson all year this year. We have. But it's not fair to him that you put him in an uncomfortable situation to which he's trying to do his best. He's buying time, trying to do his best to stay, just said, hey, he's somewhat. But hold on, sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. He's getting his point there.
I disagree a little bit there because Zach Wilson is a first-round draft pick.
I understand
top 10, I believe, top 10 pick, right?
Number 2.
Right. This is his second season, right? It's time to put your big boy pants on. And they had to go out and get Aaron Rodgers because he didn't put his big boy pants on year 2 years into it. I'm sorry, this is his 3rd year, right?
Mm-hmm,
so
yes.
3rd season, you shouldn't be asking too much of your first round number 2 pick in your 3rd season. You shouldn't have to go out and get another quarterback. But that just goes to show you in year 3 his development, and this is who you got. So yes, the GM. I don't feel bad at all for Zach Wilson, but I agree with you on their GM. You should have went out and you should have known what you had because it's year 3, and clearly you didn't trust him because you traded for Aaron Rodgers in the 3rd season. So you should have went out and got yourself, like Curtis said early on, week 1 when we did this, go out and get a veteran quarterback to maybe lead this team, and maybe you have a better chance until Aaron Rodgers maybe gets back and you have a fighting playoff chance. But now you're week 11 and forget about it. It's over with. Now you got to stick with what you got. So I don't feel bad, like I said, at all for Zach Wilson, but I agree with you, Trevor, that the GM should have made that move way early on and got themselves a veteran quarterback to lead the team.
Yeah, the GM tried to have his cake and eat it too. They thought you're going to have him sit on the Rodgers. Maybe Wilson could see what a Hall of Fame quarterback runs on offense and learn from him. And then, if Rodgers decides if they win in 2 years or whatever, he wants to move on, and we could get Zach in 5th year and see what he has. If not, we got to start all over. That totally shot in his foot, especially when Joshua Dobbs is going out to Minnesota and doing what he's doing, and you could have had him for a 7th or 6th round pick. It makes the general manager look really incompetent and very, very foolish with that. And also, by the way, after that game, they had a players only meeting, the New York Jets, where we see Michael Carter got released or let go now picked up on waivers for the Cardinals. Now a little dissension on the offense. I don't know if that's going to help or not, but you know what? It is week 11 and you haven't not made any adjustments. I got to look at Nathaniel Hackett, and also, like you said, Saleh, he's got to hold the fire on his offensive coordinator. Listen, we need to score. He's a defensive coach. He knows when an offense stinks. He should know that his offense isn't that very good. He should be putting some pressure or some heat on it, but I think everyone in Florham Park is walking on eggshells because of the Rodgers effect. That's just my opinion there. So we'll move on. Go ahead, Trevor. You got one more thing before we move on?
Yeah, we have one more thing to move on. You mentioned Aaron Rodgers' effect, but I agree 100% because let's be honest, he's only here because I'm talking about Nathaniel Hackett is only here because of Rodgers. If he wasn't here, Nathaniel Hackett wouldn't even be on his team. First of all, he's not even I'm sorry, is he even a competent OC? Like, are we reading for real right now? Like, no, he's not. Like, I don't understand. And then it's like, especially with Saleh and his press conferences, because I watch the press conferences over here too. It's like, You're doing your fan base a disservice because you keep telling them saying, "Oh, the offense is almost there. The offense is almost there. The offense is almost there." What we see every single week is the offense is holding our back. The offense holding it back. So, Saleh, at what point are you going to say, "Listen, we fucked up. We fucked up"? But you're not going to say that. I'm sorry. He's just not the guy that. You know, somebody that's gonna be like honest with it. He wants to be cool with everybody. He wants to be the nice guy in the room. But you can't be like that way in New York. You can't be like many NFL. You gotta put your foot down and say, "Listen, I'm telling you, it's gonna end up costing him his job." But that's my point right there, though. But I agree.
Yeah, we will move on here to Monday Night Football, and a lot of things happen. We're gonna give this to Tommy. In fact, I kind of want to put him up here. There you go.
He's already smiling at me.
And a lot of things happen. We got even some hot seats. We gotta say goodbye to Shaky Bones.
See
you later, everybody. Bye.
And we got the perfect introduction for Tommy. Go for it.
Our offense has been terrible all season. And you know what? It's all right because we're going to be all right. We got Joe Brady now, guys. And Joe Brady's the magic man here in Buffalo. And 7 games winning streak coming up, baby. Playoff, Super Bowl bound. I'm feeling good. All right, now listen. Okay. So, look, that game went exactly how it's been going the last month or so.
No, it didn't.
Defense has been keeping this team in games for most of the way. Offense has struggled. Offense struggled out the gate. No points in the first half, really. Like, nothing. I think we had a touchdown or something like that. I can't even remember now. 8 points we had going into halftime. Second half came out flat as well. Again, we took the lead, and here it is again. I gotta say too, what's disappointing the most too about Sean McDermott taking over. By the way, we got a lot of problems going on right now in Buffalo and the coaching staff. So it's just not Ken Dorsey. I think Sean McDermott is also an issue. This is my last year back in this dude as a head coach. Everybody knows that I've been saying that.
Yeah, you've been consistent with that. I gave you props on that.
Yeah, I've been saying that since really I've been saying that. I question
week 1.
I question his leadership after 2021. And I asked Bill's Mafia back then after the 13 seconds, how much longer do we trust Sean McDermott as our head coach or back him as a head coach? Because it just seems like he fails in the biggest moments. And it shows. It shows this year as well. So I'll give you an example. So, yes, our offense hasn't been playing well, but Sean McDermott took over as defensive coordinator, right? You said, hey, Leslie Frazier can't win the big games. It can't be, as far as defense, he hasn't done a well enough job in big moments. Okay, fine. I'll buy that, Sean McDermott. He's had multiple opportunities this year where the offense has got back the lead, and he's failed this team, meaning under 2 minutes, Patriots, the worst team worst offensive team in football, I believe. Drove 75 yards, won the game, right? Then you got same thing with the Bengals. They go down, they couldn't stop the Bengals and get the ball back. Denver took the lead, couldn't stop them under 2 minutes. They drove down, killed all the clock. Then 12 personnel on the field, still had another opportunity. And he continues to fail big moments. Tampa Bay, we almost lost. Same thing. The Giants game, we almost same thing. He almost gave up the game because of that as well. Just not been doing a good job. Clock management's been an issue with Sean McDermott. Bad challenges that makes no sense, like what he's doing out there at times. But let's get on Ken Dorsey. So Ken Dorsey was fired after that game, and Sean McDermott for weeks and weeks. Yep. Sean McDermott for weeks and weeks have been saying, no, there's going to be no change. Matter of fact, he's been emphatic with it. Like, he gets angry anytime somebody would ask him if there's going to be a change. And after the Denver game, he said he needs 24 hours to think about it. It was less than 24 hours. He went ahead and fired Ken Dorsey.
Didn't they have a player, Tommy, didn't they have a players meeting, though, before that?
They had two players meeting only. And that's another thing I like the players only meeting, but the thing I didn't like about it was Latavius Murray's the one that set it up. Why is a non-captain, a guy, a first-year player,
he's a
the
bad
guy who's doing?
He's probably highly
respected. Yeah, but you need a captain like Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen, Gabe, somebody else that's a leader of this team if you're going to do a players only, in my opinion. But whatever, that's beside the point. It didn't help anyway. So Sean McDermott went ahead and fired him. Joe Brady now taking over. By the way, I don't know much about Joe Brady. All I can tell you is he OC'd at Carolina, wasn't the greatest there. He did get fired after his second season. Matter of fact, midway through. He did coach LSU to a national championship. He was their OC or assistant OC. So he did win an award there. So he has some good and some bad with him, right? NFL, not the greatest so far. So all I can say about this is it could lead to a spark. It could lead to a change to the offense. If it leads to nothing, who cares? Because it wasn't going anywhere anyway. So I just think it's a little bit too late. I think this move should have been done weeks ago. And you got to remember, the offense is going to be the same offense. The only difference is play calling and maybe a little bit sprinkled in a little bit play designs per each week. But the offensive playbook is going to remain the same. It's just how is Joe Brady going to call the game. And he could call a better game than Ken Dorsey for sure. He could have
couldn't do worse.
He couldn't. That's my point, right? So he couldn't do worse. So I don't mind the change. I think I will say this though, and when we get into the game coming up, we get to the games. Talk about your first tough test as an OC going against probably one of the best defenses in the NFL. So it's going to be interesting this week to see what he does.
Let me ask you this, Tommy. I know you're saying that the offense wasn't great enough, but weren't you have like almost 4 games in a row you were scoring over 35 points, 30 to 35 points? I mean, what was wrong with the offense then? Okay.
So that's a great question. So week 1, we didn't score that, right? You guys, you know this. You know how that game went. Yeah, I don't have to tell you that. Week 2, we went against, I believe, the Commanders, or the Raiders. Sorry, the Raiders. And the Raiders weren't that good at the time. I thought our offensive game plan was okay. Our defense put us in good spots, good field position, if you really watch that game. So our defense played a big role in why we scored those points. Week 3 against Commanders, we had a defensive touchdown. Our defense once again put us in really, really good situations and good field position to score points. We still weren't really clicking. Even Curtis said, you know that game. And I went on.
It was only 10 points. I think he put 10 points up into the late third.
Exactly. And so our defense started really good. Right. So you can't really look at the overall scoring because the defense really played a huge role in that. Now, week 4, great. Awesome. Probably the best job Ken Dorsey's ever done, right? 48 points. But after that game, done. Jaguars in London, terrible, and it's gotten worse ever since. I think our offense was predictable. Defenses were looking at our film going, okay, here's what they're going to do. If they're in this setup, this is what they're going to do. If they're in shotgun draw, they're in shotgun, he's either going to do an RPO or hand it off to the running back. Like, it's really, really simple. Like, this offense was very simple, very easy to guess. And it just seemed like everybody was lost, and Ken Dorsey and Sean McDermott had no answer. And it went like that for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. And here we are today. So, I mean, listen, here's the truth. Every coach takes the next step. Not every coach succeeds, though. There's great offense coordinators that become head coaches. They're terrible. There's great quarterback coaches that are really good, and they go to OC, and they're just not good. I think Ken Dorsey's an excellent quarterback coach. He's done a great job for Cam Newton. He did a really good job for Josh Allen, his progression. Maybe OC's just not for him, and that's okay. You know what I mean? That doesn't make him a bad person. It just makes him just not capable of doing that job. Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, he's a football mind. He's been in the game forever, but maybe his job is more teaching. Meaning quarterback coach.
He can't handle the fire. Right. He melts.
All right. So we'll see what Joe Brady does. By the way, though, Joe Brady, young as well. Like, this is a big, like, you know, talk about being thrown in the fire, you know. And by the way, 7 games, I would say there's really one game that's a gimme, and that's the Patriots. And is it a gimme? I don't know, because the way we've been playing. But, man, you got the Jets, you got the Eagles, you got at Chiefs, you got at Chargers, you got at Dolphins. I mean, rough games coming up. Really tough schedule coming up. So it's going to be a lot of pressure on him. But, hey, he wanted it. He got it. Here we go.
Yeah, that absolutely. We'll see what happens there. As Curtis, you seen this game there. Your thoughts on the firing of Shaky Bones, because that's your guy. You've been clapping on him all season. Give me that offense was so predictable. You kept talking about the lack of running game, and to be honest with you, their last drive, they ran 7 running plays, and they got into the end zone when Allen taking it in. The baker was baking, though, before that. They didn't trust him to throw the football because he was going to serve delicious turnovers to the Broncos. Now, when I saw that, I said one thing. What's going to happen next week? Because they're telling the quarterback, we don't trust your ass to throw the football. We're going to run it. But you have been a proponent of them running the game. What was your thoughts on that final drive? And the whole thought with Dorsey.
Well, the whole problem was that it's always the same. Like, if you come out with a masterclass game plan and destroy the Dolphins the way you did, you would figure, ba-ding, hey, I have something here. But you had this framework, this philosophy, this pattern of calling, and then you just go to the next week, you're like, screw it. These, baby. And then you get a little success, and then it doesn't click. It continually never clicked for the guy. And I don't know what that is. It's almost like there's like a mental instability there. And even if you look at the last game, you could see Sean Payton. Sean Payton's exceptional. He's exceptionally tough. He's exceptionally smart. He's exceptionally creative. He's an exceptional caller. He saw Wilson was struggling. Let's rein this guy in. Let's run the football heavy. We got a team that's going to pass a lot. They got a good defense. Let's batter this defense throughout and let our exceptional quarterback know who's in charge and deliver the key, precise passes and make the plays when it happened. Dorsey, on the other hand, did the exact opposite. They were one of the worst run teams in the league. You had high success, and what do? Yeah, you know what? Cook had the fumbles. But why wasn't Murray in getting the ball more? Why weren't you under center more? You see a success he has. You watch that offensive line. They were bullying the Denver Broncos front. They just could have just bullied them to victory. But there's something wrong in his psyche. There's something wrong there that he either doesn't see it or he is just not willing to do it. Either way, he had to go. To me, you got 2 roads. You've got a very positive road that goes down one direction. I personally think the Bills can win the AFC East. I think it's there. It's possible. But it's going to take a lot of breaks and things like this. But if they present the right package of this run balance, rein Allen in, let him know you got to take care of the football. Let Allen know that you are a piece of the puzzle. Run this football so this defense can rest. Give teams a few weeks of serious film to look at something totally different. And then you break out Allen along the way to do his big thing, to have that big pass with the play action. And like I said with Wilson, get him out on a mobile platform towards the edge. But keep this run game going. I think there's a chance for it to happen.
What I would like to see, Curtis, by the way, that I'm glad you mentioned Murray real quick. If you notice in that game after Cook's fumble, by the way, though, I will, in some Ken Dorsey defense, you know, fumbles aren't his problem, interceptions aren't his problem. Like that you got to protect the ball. You can't turn the ball over. But anyways, James Cook fumbling, he was out 16 plays, Curtis. Murray came in and actually ran the ball very well. Murray's not a bad running back. He's a change of pace. He's a bigger back.
He's having a stellar season, actually.
Exactly. But he's actually had good seasons leading up to this. It wasn't like, oh, my God, where's this guy come from? Murray's a good running back. Now, what I want to say is Cook's best games this year have come after Murray has ran the ball effectively to start the game, meaning weaken up the defensive line, soften them up, create bigger holes because the defensive line is now tiring. So when he was out 16 plays, if you notice, once Cook came back in, life was so much easier. Cook had bigger holes to go through. It was easier to run between the tackles. So I'm hoping with Joe Brady understands this and sees this, because I've been saying it for months now, get Murray going early and then sprinkle Cook in as the game goes on, then work him in the second, third, and fourth quarter. And now that Fournette hopefully gets called up, now you got yourself a little three-headed monster, Curtis. So if they really are smart, they use Fournette and Murray in early, really start breaking down that defense and let Cook cook. That's I think the success to this team moving forward in the run game. But I think having Cook start and not having Murray really in there early on is a mistake. But go ahead, Curtis. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Nah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, man. I know it's a sensitive time for you, man. You're lactating after the.
Hey, you know what's funny though? When your team lets you down so much, you stop being mad. You just start laughing. Like it's weird.
Oh yeah.
But you get to a point where it's just funny now. Like it's just like. So I'm not mad anymore. Trust me, it is.
Let me get Trevor in here. Go ahead. Finish up, Curtis. Sorry about that. Go for it.
If you look, it said right here, Brady never committed to the run the way Matt Rule wanted. So the biggest surprise might be timing. Matt Rule wanted the Panthers to rush 30 to 33 times a game. They only had 16 rushes in the last game before the bye. Now former Joe Brady never found the right balance. So this could be very good in the sense.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
McCaffrey.
So, but this could be very good from a psychological standpoint where he understands, hey, I watched this situation. I got fired because I didn't run the football, and then maybe he really commits to it, or he might jackass out and do Dable and Shaky Bones 3.0. I don't know, but you'll know right off the bat.
He wasn't under Dable. Yeah, he wasn't under Dable, so it's very possible
if you look
he has nothing
to
do with that.
If you look at Brady, one of his specialty was creating route combinations to create space. And so that's what he was noted for with LSU when he had Joe Burrow and Chase, setting up route combinations that actually created space and allowed easier throws.
Yeah.
And if you can add this run game, I think you have a chance to really do something good. Now, it's going to mean the Dolphins have to lose a couple of games and have to choke a little bit. But I think that you can still, if this plays out, man, that Week 18 game could be something huge.
Most definitely.
Let me get Trevor in here real quick on that. The game here with watching the Buffalo and the Broncos. I'm going to ask you this, Trevor. Curtis is high on the Bills making a run and possibly winning the AFC East. You know when a team is down and out by your own Patriots, do the Buffalo Bills have enough to go back into and actually come out and win this division? They've done it before. They're reigning 3 years in a row AFC East champions. What's your thought and what's your thoughts of the game, Trevor?
The first question you asked as far as the getting winning back, yes, of course they can. Absolutely. As bad as the Bills have been playing the last few weeks, I can never count them out. the end of the day, you have Josh Allen, who eventually will get it together, and they will make a run. The team is too talented to not do that. So yes, I do believe that they even though the schedule is very difficult, technically their season starts. They're pretty much their playoffs start now because the AFC is so wide, it's so bunched up. Everyone's trying to juxtaposition for a spot for the wild card, so or for a spot up there. So it'll be really tough anyway. Yeah, I can see it happening. As far as the game's concerned, Denver did everything they could to try to give the Bills the game. I'm not gonna lie to you, they did, especially in the fourth quarter. They tried their best to get the game to them. The pass interference and the last couple of the fourth quarter, I'm like, come on, you can't do that. It just, I understand people make mistakes, but it's like you gotta have some type of stuff. You have some type of awareness of what's going on. You can't blatantly make a penalty like that, even though the defender got beat. It's like, come on, you can't do that. And then it's like, again, I kind of see why they got fired because they were very lethargic, especially with the play call and everything like that. But Denver still trying to get in the game. It's just the way it goes. I'm not gonna lie to you, but other than that, I was very disappointed as well. Especially the thing that bothered me the most was I was infuriated when it happened the most because he misses the field goal. So I'm like, okay, they missed the field goal. The Bills are gonna win this game. They survive and win the game, but 12 minutes in the field, you can't do that. That's just, to me, it's like, as far as coaches are concerned, you can't allow that to happen. You can't allow yourself to lose a game because you have 12 minutes in the field. So I feel that
was
in
brutal.
my opinion, I feel that yes, they fired the offensive coordinator, which was deserved. But I think them firing the offensive coordinator was a message to McDermott saying, if you don't turn this around or we miss the playoffs, your ass is next. That's why I took it as, because he should have been 5 weeks ago. But overall, this is a game that the Bills should have won. And I think, well, we'll talk about that in a few minutes with how the game against the Jets is just not bigger, but yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
By the way, that's the second time that Sean McDermott has blundered special teams. So 2021 to 13 seconds. That's why I'm saying he crumbles in big moments. The kickoff, if you guys remember, was supposed to be a squib kick. And because him and the special teams coordinator couldn't relate the message, something happened, they kicked it out of bounds. So that led to that 13 seconds. So they had the ball at the 25 instead of taking time off, squib kick it. They might have had no time, very minimal time. So, and then you got this right here again, special teams. So you call a timeout after second down. McDermott should have went to the special team and said, hey, here's what they're going to do. Third down. They got no timeouts. They're going to kneel the ball. They're going to rush their field goal unit out there. Have your guys ready. How do you have that happen? How do you have that happen? As a head coach, I get it. Special teams, that's his job too. But as a head coach, you should have told your guy, have your guys ready. Have your guys ready. You shouldn't have to tell them have 11 guys ready, not 12. But my point is, it still goes back on the head coach. So that's why I'm saying I think Sean McDermott in big moments, and I'll say this about Sean McDermott: he coaches not to lose. He doesn't coach to win, and that is a big problem. And that's why I do like the Lions coach over there. He coaches to win, not to lose. So I love that mentality, and I think Sean McDermott has always had the coach not to lose mentality, and it's cost him in many, many games as a head coach, and especially in big games, big moments. He's a great – listen, if you're trying to build your team, let's say you got a bad team, and you're trying to build up your team from the ground up. I think Sean McDermott's an excellent coach to do that. But I also think he has a ceiling. And then you need to bring the next guy in. And I think that's where the Bills are right now with Sean McDermott. I think, like I said, I think he built this team up. He got them out of the pits of hell. But that's it. There's no more. I think he's took us as far as he can. It's time for a change.
Only time will tell. But personally, when I watched that and I saw, first of all, I was like, that's kind of gutsy for Denver to try to have the kneel downs and not even to center the ball. If you're kneeling the ball, at least center the damn football so your kicker straight away, not all the way to the right of the hash marks. And then when he missed that kick, I turned the TV off. I'll be honest with you, I have to get up early anyway. I said, all right, Buffalo won. Now the hill becomes more bleaker for the Jets. And then when I get up in the morning, I'm looking and I looked at the score. I couldn't believe it. I had to put NFL net or the NFL package on my app to double check. For real, I didn't know it was the field goal was the too many men on the field, and I was like, holy moly! I was like, okay, we got Christmas came early for the AFC, not just the Jets, the AFC, because the AFC now is all squished in all together, and the only one that came out with a bed of roses was the Miami head coach there, McDermott, and he said thank you for asking, by the way, that he had a hell of a nice time, and he was very appreciative that the beat writers and reporters asked how he spent his bye week. By the way, how did you spend your bye week there, Curtis?
Watching football, man. I recovered a little bit. I didn't do as many podcasts as normal. I just kind of chilled out. I did a lot of studying. Watched the Raiders game. To me, the Raiders Jets game was important. That's why I stumbled into it, but I kind of kept watching. It was very enjoyable. I mean, I learned a lot. But I actually took a little bit of break, but still watched plenty of football.
All right, so we will see the repercussion as we're ready to start now. Week 11. I can't believe it, 11 already. We know the Patriots are on their bye, so we'll have them say see you next week against the Giants. Let's go right to your Dolphins, who returned back from action from Germany. Hopefully they're not jet lagged. They got enough sleep. You know, McDermott looks like he's ready to go. He said he watched the whole Harry Potter series, and he's ready to go against those red-hot Raiders heading to South Beach. Curtis, give me your keys to the game here with this red-hot, intense Raider team with the defense with Crosby, the tongue bath that they're giving Crosby and the defensive end, Antonio Pierce, the rookie quarterback. What are the chances they go to South Beach and they lay an egg?
Well, for me personally, I think this Raiders team is dangerous. If you look, they play a lot of man. They kind of been. Graham was the former defensive coordinator for the Dolphins for a year under Flores. And he's gotten better. He was with the Giants, then he was with the Raiders. They run a lot of man. They've got a good secondary. They signed Jack Jones from the Patriots because he had a relationship with Pierce, and he's good at run stop, and he's got some skill set. And like I said, they got other guys that sit in the background that have kind of been marinating from last year that are getting better. So I don't think this defense is done getting to where it needs to go. And they got John Jenkins, is a really big guy at 330. Who can come in and mess around with the run. So the Dolphins are down Hunt. They're going to have Eichenberg and Jackson on one side. If you say anything bad about them now in the Dolphins media, you're a hater, you're a verbal abuser, that's where we've come to now at the stage of football coverage. Tua gets a hairdo change, and that's very important. If you talk bad about guys that have been struggling, you could say Jackson hasn't, but that's, debatable. But we'll find out this week. And then you got Cotton, who was a guy who probably wouldn't start many places. He's the left guard. So you basically got Teron and Connor going against Max Crosby, Spillane, the linebacker, and a very aggressive front. And so this Dolphins team is going to have to run left. Raiders kind of get a little exposed to the left. You got Teron and Connor and Cotton, but they got some guys they brought in that might limit that. So to me, Dolphins must run the football. I think the Raiders will probably get 14 to 17 points, maybe 20. But if the defense plays lights out, the Dolphins might score less than that. So the Dolphins got to run the football. Achan's coming back. The Dolphins need to kind of get some breaking points where they get those, the man coverage, and they get some guy lost in the scrum, and get some quick points and get that, blitzkrieg style offense. If this gets into like a World War I slog back and forth, I think it could get dangerous. I don't know. I think that it could be, but this is going to really test my theory that the offensive line has real value. I think somewhere along the line, we got all these skills and people like, it doesn't really matter. You can put anybody there. And it doesn't if you get the ball out 2.35 seconds maybe. But will they get it out that quick? I think the Dolphins will win, but I think this is going to be a much tougher game, and it could be. If the offense of the Raiders turns the ball over, they're screwed. If they can minimize their turnovers and foolish plays, they'll stand a chance. I'm thinking like 24-17. I think it's going to be a good game until like the third. And I think this team is getting overlooked, and I think Dolphin fans are getting gassed. by the major media, because they've just been basically saying it doesn't matter who you got on the offensive line. It just doesn't matter. And so we'll find out. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not all-seeing Oz, but this week is going to tell us a lot about both teams and about the team concepts of building a team, whether the offensive line matters or not. Because right now, they got guys in there that shouldn't be starting, in my opinion, but I could be wrong. So that's what I think. I think 24-17 Dolphins, but it could be an ugly game if that pass rush gets there. Crosby is a monster. And if they could slow that run down, it could be dangerous. But if Achane comes in and they pop a couple quick ones and they're up 14-0, then, it's going to be, So that's my take.
All right, we'll go to Tommy there. Tommy, a lot of implication there for both. I know we'll be going on there in a moment, but watching that game before we kick off, seeing the Raiders, who are red hot, beating the Jets the week before, beating the Giants, they're on a mission. They're on a roll. What's your thoughts there? Are they going to continue rolling sevens, or are they going to Lady Luck runs out in Miami?
I think it runs out in Miami, but I will say this: coming out of bye week sometimes is not always good for some teams. Some teams come out flat, and the Raiders are right now. They're on a roll, like you said. So if Miami comes out flat and the Raiders are just continuing to roll and have this spark that's been given, with this coaching change, could there be an upset? Sure. Do I see it happening? No. I just think the Dolphins offense is just too good, and I think they'll put up. I think the Raiders are still trying to find themselves on offense. Even last week, it's not like they put up a lot of points against the Jets, and mind you, it's the Jets defense, but I just don't see the Raiders at this, as this powerhouse kind of offense is just going to, score, enough points to keep them in the game versus the Dolphins. So I think the Dolphins wind up winning this game. And if I do my prediction, I'll just say something like 30-17. I think the Dolphins win.
All right. So we'll go to Trevor. Trevor, Miami, yes. The Raiders. They're going to Miami. They're going down to Miami. Are the Raiders going to win, or they're going to lean back into a loss column?
It was cute seeing Antonio Pierce, play coach his hometown team, which is great. Get 2 wins against the Giants and the Jets. Hey, that's 2. Mind you, hey, got this to him. But the luck runs out here. It was cute. It was a nice story. Now it runs out here. At the end of the day, the Dolphins are a much better team than they are. Aiden O'Connell, I'm not gonna lie to you, they put him in positions to not mess up, to be honest, but I'm not sure we will get from him, honestly. I think the Miami Dolphins should win this game pretty easily. Defensively, outside of Max Crosby, the Raiders defense really isn't all that something to write home about. I think the Dolphins should win this game pretty easily. 34-13 maybe, but again, it's admirable that the Raiders, despite firing McDaniels and having these 2 wins, they went from completely being dead in the water to being back in the playoff push. It's admirable. I like how they are coaching for him, but at the end of the day, the best team wins, the most talent wins. I'm going with Miami to win this game.
All right, not bad. This game, to me, momentum, and it's not like baseball as your starting day pitcher. Momentum is momentum in the game of emotions when it comes to football. Right now they're inspired. They have a lot of momentum, those Raiders. I understand it's a 1 o'clock game going to the East Coast. It's not like you're going all the way from Los Angeles, although a couple hours away. I like the Raiders to win this game. I'll be honest with you. I think the Raiders are going to come out inspired. I think they got the running attack with Adams, who's just playing phenomenal with at wide receiver. I know that there's Waddle, there's you guys got a hell of a wide receiver core there, but I think this Raider defense is really good when you have a defensive-minded head coach running as interim. They got something unlocked there. I think they're gonna put. I kind of see of course he's a former Giant. I kind of see some Giant vibes when they went to the Super Bowl run. I'm not saying the Raiders are going to the Super Bowl run, but I see that inspiration on defense. He knows what to get the guys in the right gear to win this game. So I think this is going to be a big upset. I think they win this. The Raiders will win this on a last-minute field goal. I think they're going to turn over Tua, and they're going to set themselves up for a last-minute win. I could see it 24. It's going to be 27-24. Raiders taking that one there. And, wow, imagine what that means for Black Friday. But we'll talk about first. Before we even get to Black Friday, we talk about the big showdown at 4:20 in the afternoon in Orchard Park. The new look, Brady-led offensive coordinator, Buffalo Bills, taking on the offense that cannot score like half the man in Tommy's bar, Jets. Tommy, I'm going to give you the floor. Do the Jets have a better chance of scoring, or do your Patriots in your bar have a better chance of scoring?
Yeah, I know, right? Listen, I think I trust my defense enough to keep your offense in check. Even though we've had some letdowns against, worser offenses, Patriots, but I think our defense will hold up just fine. By the way, too, Micah Hyde is returning. He didn't play last week. That's a big
boost
for the defense. Christian Benford is also returning. Rasul Douglas actually played very well last week, which is the guy we traded for. So that's having him next to Benford instead of Jackson is going to help out as well as his defense. Von Miller's still not back. I mean, I hate to say it, but I told people, listen, he got injured on Thanksgiving. It's not even been a year. ACL surgery is no joke, guys. Like, I know it sucks. I know you want Von back, but it takes time. I'm shocked he's even on the field weeks ago, so we got to give him a little break. But the realism is he's just not what he was yet. He's getting there, I think. So, but everybody's back on defense except for the guys obviously that are gone for the year. But Joseph is actually playing really good too. Linval Joseph on the line. That's going to help us stop the run as well. Ed Oliver's having a hell of a season. So our defense intact, I think, will do their job against your Jets. It really boils down to the offense. What can our offense do? What can Joe Brady do for this offense? Can we limit the turnovers? And the Jets are, to me, they are the best defense in the NFL. Now, some can argue, some could say, Cleveland or Dallas, whatever. But I think right now, my personal opinion, I think the Jets have the best defense. So this is a huge test right off the bat for Joe Brady. But Sean McDermott said Josh Allen looks like has that look again in his eyes that he's ready to go. So that he's ready to have fun. He's having fun out there this week. So we'll see if he's right about that. If this team can get it going back on offense, if the run game can get going early, like I said, limit the turnovers, we should win this game. In my opinion, it's in Buffalo. The first game was close. It was in New York, on that shitty ass turf. I think Buffalo's due one. I think we play inspired football because of Joe Brady, that spark. So I'm gonna say, man, it's tough, man, because your defense is so good. 27-13. Buffalo.
Well, as long as you play with 11 men on the field, you should be okay. Trevor, give me your thought.
I would hope so, right? That would be unbelievable.
Give me your thoughts here, man. Yes.
This is very tough, honestly, because first of all, this is honestly my favorite part of the year. It's heading towards crunch time. The playoff push is starting to get really, really hectic now. Basically, the loser in this game more than likely is not going to make the playoffs. More than likely won't make the playoffs. With everything going on. This is really tough. I want to say Buffalo. I do think they'll be playing inspired football, but the Jets defense has for the last 2 years or so. I mean, the last year and a half or so have been, pretty much, playing them tough, made it difficult and stuff like that. But I'm overall, I'm going to. I'm not gonna. It's very tough. I'm gonna say Buffalo wins this game. I do think that they'll
Lean
be
back.
more inspired. I just my issue is the Jets offense. Even though I feel that they're not going to be. I really don't know. Honestly, I'm gonna say Buffalo wins this game, but it's gonna be very close though. I can't call it.
All right. So we're gonna go right to Curtis here. This game you're watching here is pretty much who do you prefer? One of them is gonna pretty much almost have a nail in the coffin. Although with this AFC all around, everyone's losing. Burrow gets hurt out for the year. Baltimore loses their all-star tight end. Guys are falling like flies. The AFC is close. I have two-part question, but one is about the Jets, and then I want to talk about your Dolphins with the injuries. Knock on wood. Hopefully, nothing happens. I don't placate or agree with any injuries, but we'll get to that. Let me give me your thoughts on this big matchup here between Buffalo and New York. What are you looking at here from a non-rooting interest? Because we tend to have our lenses of Jet lenses and Tommy Buffalo lenses, but I want to hear your perspective on it.
Yeah, I personally I found that because I used to write for FINS, I still do, but I started like this whole thing about like 9 years ago writing for FINS News, and I totally wrote like a Dolphins fan, and I would find myself like wrong like most of the time. I didn't know what the hell I was talking about, and then I was like, I finally just cut it off, and I decided to just look at it from a football standpoint. It gets me in trouble a lot of times with the Dolphin fans or whoever, but I personally think that the Jets are not out of it if they lose this week, and I do think they're going to lose. I don't think the Bills are out of it. The Dolphins, they're in a weird situation because they've got a lot of body blows. From this week all the way to the week 18, there are good defenses, and if you understand that it's a marathon, those body blows can just really lay into you. And over time, it can sap the team and make you stumble in crucial moments. So I don't think the Dolphins, even though they have the edge they have, it's guaranteed all. I said it was going to be a drag, knockdown fight. I think that Dolphins, even if they win this week, are going to get hit so hard by a team that is desperate to win. They're going to go into next Friday against the Jets, and that's going to be extremely tough. And so they could drop one there, and that one drop opens the door for a Jet team that might lose this week, or a Bills team that wins this week and is behind. I think all three of these teams have opportunities. Nothing's guaranteed. Dolphins have the lead, but they're not a physical team, and they're playing physical team after physical team after physical team. So we got to kind of see how it plays out. I think that it's about Brady. I'll know in the first 2 or 3 drives what the psychology of Brady is as a caller. If he calls, like you look at Quentin Morris, I said at the beginning of the year, this is a guy who could block. And he's finding himself to get snaps. And you'll see that when he's in, things pop open. Even Gilliam in the run blocking department, in his limited capacity, has shown himself. So if you got a guy like Brady, who uses Kincaid, who's doing phenomenal in the pass catching department, struggles in the run blocking department, but I've actually noticed a little step up in his run blocking because they put him in different situations. But if you have Gilliam and Morris and you start running physical with Fournette and what's the other guy's name? Murray. And then you start sprinkling in Cook, this team can beat the Jets because the Jets will struggle if you just keep running it and play like, hey, this is a good defense, a great defense. We're not scoring every drive. Let's think about the macro vision of our philosophy on offense. Let's not turn the ball over, get our quarterbacks ass beat. We got a good defense against a struggling offense. Let's play the long game. And if they do that, I think they can beat the Jets. Not great. They're going to run the football and going to take drives away. It could be like a 23-14, 23-17, 20-13, or 10. But you would say, oh, we just barely beat them. It's a great defense. You beat them. You've given your defense rest. You've set up the right protocol to win at home. To me, if you do that, the Jets, look, they'll come back and they're going to hang there. The Bills will set themselves up. And so this 2-3 teams playing this week, it's going to be very interesting. I think Jets lose this week, but I'm starting to get a nervous feeling they're going to win next week, Friday, against the Dolphins, because they might not have Hunt that game. And so you watch the Dolphins game this week, and Jackson and Eichenberg step up along with Cotton, man, you better watch your behinds, AFC East. But if they sink, it's going to get worse next week with that front against the Jets. And then I do believe my Dolphins will be in it. I believe it's going to come down to that Week 18 game to open the door. So I think this is like, to me, it's the most interesting week so far of the season right now. There's so many things that could be said about these three teams and the prospects of the AFC East. Dolphins could just slam the door on everybody. Or see some things get exposed. Now, my Dolphins will have Ron and Connor and Hunt together at some point. That might make them get the gas down the road, but it's not going to happen for a week or two. And so I believe that the Jets are going to lose maybe by 10 points if the Bills play smart. If they go back to Dorsey 2.0, they're going to lose.
All right.
If they go fun and gun, they're going to lose.
I'm getting a feedback really bad though. I don't know. I know maybe when you're moving your microphone, probably.
Oh, maybe it's me. I get excited.
No,
It could be Trevor. Oh, Trevor's on mute.
I put mute. I muted for just make sure it wasn't him. So it's the microphone. It's that it's a New York thing. We talk with our hands.
I know. I got to, man. I got to. My hands move. My mouth moves so my hands can talk.
All right. This game here, in my opinion, it's pretty much extremely important for both teams, especially the direction that either team wants to go. I know they want to implement a new offensive coordinator for the Bills here against the New York Jets. If you're the Jets, keep it simple, stupid, even on defense. Don't try to do any extra exotic blitzing. You don't want to make the Buffalo Bills get on a run offensively. To me, it comes down to the Baker. It's holiday season. Is Josh Allen going to go put on his white baking pastry chef attire and start serving turnovers? If he does, it's going to help the Jets shorten the field position, play good special teams, and take advantage. Even if we have to go with field goals, trust our defense. I hate to say that. That's the position the Jets are going to win. But if Miami secures the football and moves it ups and down, and they scoring touchdowns rather than field goals, then Buffalo's going to win this game, and they're going to look good doing it. So the only thing I can see is we're getting a fresh running back in Izzy Anabakanda, the 7th round pick from Pittsburgh for the New York Jets. And I saw him on preseason. I've been waving the pom-poms for finally the kid to get activated and play. This kid, you're going to remember that name, not just Bill Nation, AFC, because this kid, I'm telling you, he could run. He has something. He is another one. Like I talked about Gibson was going to be special. This kid out of Bakanda is going to be special running the football with fresh legs here in week 11. And it doesn't mean that he's going to propel the Jets to win, but it's just another weapon from the running attack in there. The only thing that worries me, can he block the blitz? Can he block the extra man or chip block? That's the only thing, because he's a rookie. Those are things that you learn on the fly. You either have it or don't have it, and that's one of my concerns. And also, hopefully they activate Jason Brown-Lee, because Jason Brown-Lee is another big target. I don't want to see Malik Taylor at all. Lassard barely catches. He can't even catch COVID. He worries me. And my goodness. And that's just my worries there. And I think those are the keys for the Jets. If they can shorten the field, play the game of positioning, and turn over the Baker, they'll win. If not, they're just going to, same story again. Offense is going to struggle, and we won't know what happened there. And so, with that said, we are finally at the end here, but I want to talk to Trevor, see if he has... Trevor, do you have one of these for us? Where is it? Do you have a delicious, prepared... We haven't seen it in a while, Iran.
Yeah, I do, actually. I do have a rant.
All right, give us one.
So, I've been having...
You're muted. Come up.
Hello? I'm sorry about that. I'm having a certain problem with a certain running back for New York. Saquon Barkley. I'm having a problem with him now. Saquon Barkley wants to get paid. And, of course, when you're playing a dangerous sport like this, of course, you want to be secure, and I respect that. That's cool. I like that. But you're demanding money that, to be honest, you haven't earned, honestly speaking. You had only one good season, and you've been injury prone every other season for that 1 year. When last year when they went to the playoffs, and you're asking for money. You know what I'm saying? So it bothers me because it's like you're talking, right? Your team is 2-8, right? It's not like when you're on the field is helping anything. You guys are still not that good anyway. I mean, the roster is bad. But I don't want to hear you complain something about, I don't know. I said, loyalty is it doesn't mean anything. I get that, but I don't want to hear that from you right now. The team is 2-8. Okay, I don't want to hear that from you. All I want you to do is stay healthy and play ball. And then when the season's over and you want to negotiate then. But I don't want to hear what you're complaining about money when you're 2-8 and week 11. The team is tragic. The team is garbage. The team is horrible. And it's not help. And you're not helping either. You're not helping much either. I mean, when you're on the field, what is it? But he ran. He had 100 yards the other week. But he ran 30 times. What was like a 2.5 yards per carry? 3.5. What is that doing? That's not beating anybody. Come on. Saquon, I'm just tired of you complaining about money when you really haven't done much anyway. You know what I'm saying? Just play the season now, and what happens after that, plays after that. Other than that, I want to hear you complaining on New York sports media. I don't want to hear it. You should be happy that Jonathan Taylor took $14 million. He kind of took $14 million a year deal, which honestly speaking, he's shown me that, hey, I don't mind giving Jonathan Taylor $14 million, except for that one he got seriously hurt. But other than that, you haven't done anything to prove that you deserve $15 million. And then you're turning money down. You had a deal with the Giants where a favorable deal for the Giants. You turned it down for what? I don't know betting yourself, but who get hurt? It just bothered me. It just bothered me how he's complaining about that. Just play ball and then we'll move on from there. But Saquon, you don't really move the needle for the Giants anyway.
So, anyone else has a rant that would like to get off their chest tonight? Nah, everyone's good. I got one thing though. It's not a rant though. I just want to say, thanks to everyone watching along with us up and down in the different chat. And remember, in the chat or on the different platforms that are viewing us, this program, especially today, the 18th, I become a year wiser. So thank you guys for allowing me to host on my day, on my birthday today. So thank you guys. We appreciate it. Thank you. I really appreciate it. No, I kind of keep it a little profile, quiet, but and I'm one of those there. I just wanted to say thank you guys for all the lovely time together here. You could have been anywhere else on a Saturday night. You chose to be with all four of us here. Again, to me, that's like a great present. Trust me, it's an appreciative moment. We want to thank you guys so much here. Tommy, I can't wait to go back and forth on that game day. The best team wins. Let's have fun. No injuries for any one of us. No, any four of our teams here. Let's go. No,
I agree with that.
No more injuries. Let's have good competitive football. Let's hopefully it's for last possession. Either team has to make a stop or score for winning the game. I'm for it. I'll sign up for that. A healthy game. So this is the AFC East Shakedown. I want to thank again. We can find Curtis on the Ace Per Head channel. Please subscribe, like Juan and Trevor. You can find them on the Facebook group page. Please go look for them, Sports Dynasty. And we all know the founder at Mafia Sports. You please go ahead, check that subscribe and follow. And we will be back collaborating next week. Thank you for all the birthday wishes, ladies and gentlemen. Many blessings to you as you guys bless our lives. Peace out.
Go Bill.
This is the way.
This is the way. This is the way.